Revere's house, as you can see here, he lived in this house from 1770 to 1800, 30 years. In that time period, he will have had 2 wives and 16 children. Busy man, busy woman. 5 of those children don't make it into adulthood, which is about average for that time with infant mortality being such as it is. If you did get to 10 or 11 though, you would have an excellent chance of living through quite a long life because you have an excellent healthy lifestyle, plenty of exercise, plenty of good food, plenty of hard work, guaranteed to get to 80 or 90. Now, when Paul Revere bought this house back in 1770, it was already 90 years old, that house. So it is estimated that this house was built in the year 1680. That puts it as the oldest house in downtown Boston. Now, also the house that existed in this location before this was owned by an even more influential person than Paul Revere. It was owned by a man called Increase Matter, who was one of the earliest Puritan ministers back in colonial times. You see the hitching post here. This hitching post is the original hitching post, where people will tie their horse to this post here. They will go in through Paul Revere's door and they'll enjoy a cup of tea with Paul Revere. Now, this type of door, we have a special name for this type of door. This type of door is known as an Indian or pirate door. And the reason it's known as an Indian door is because 100 years before this, when there were Indians in this area of a hostile nature at least, if an Indian attacked your house, nails or bolts driven into the door like this would slow down the Indian as he was trying to beat in your door with his tomahawk. That would allow the man inside, who would avail of the ledge that comes out overhang here. That ledge would contain 2 or 3 slits of about a foot by 4 inches wide. The man inside then could stick his musket out through that slit and shoot this Indian outside here and teach him a lesson not to attack his house again. Now, the jut out of this house is very similar to medieval Europe, where the jut out in houses in medieval Europe, of course, is much more pronounced than that. It could be 3 or 4 feet out. There were 2 reasons for those houses jutting out like that. One was the issue of taxation. A house in medieval Europe would frequently be taxed on the ground floor area. So on the first floor, they would push it out to grab more space. Also, of course, in medieval Europe, the sewage system is very rudimentary at best. It consists of an open sewer running up the middle of the street. So, it would be the job of the lady of the house to toss the contents of the chamber pot out into the open sewer. So that was an advantage of that. Today, if people follow proper etiquette, a gentleman will always walk to the outside of his female companion as they walk on the sidewalk. And that goes back to the time that if they were unfortunate enough to have their timing wrong, he would shield the lady from the splash of the contents being poured out onto the street. Now, this glass is from 1770. Glass at that time, of course, is very expensive. It must be imported from England. It is a natural target for taxation. Now, the colonists were used to paying plenty of taxes for local issues like schools or whatever. So, there would be a tax on your house depending upon the size of your window. That being the case, people used to gradually diminish the size of their window. Some people would completely eliminate the window altogether, have no window. As you diminish the size of the glass in the window, it diminishes the amount of daylight going into the house, and that is where we get the expression taxing the daylight out of the person. You will have heard that before. Also, with regards to taxation, there was also a type of excise tax on the contents of the house. So there would be a tax on a chair of maybe a penny, there would be a tax on a table of maybe 4 pennies, and in a tavern where such difference would make a big difference if there were 4 or 5 tables, the landlady would be on her guard to see if the tax man was approaching. If he was, they had a trick to evade the tax. Instead of the table being nailed down on all sides, it was only hinged on one side. So at the crucial moment, the lady could flip up the top of the table, and now, of course, instead of being a table, it is the back of a form or a seat, no longer goes at the lower tax. Now, if it was
comes along sitting there drinking a pint and a fork, of course, if they wasn't quick off the mark, when she sets up the table, they will lose their pints and their forks. So that is where the woman will shout out, mind your pints and forks, and that is shortened, of course, to the fullness of time to mind your T's and Q's. That's where we get that expression.